In this video, I'm going to show you how to choose and or modify or create entirely new turtle shapes. You know that there are built-in turtle shapes that you can make use of. Here's a default shape, but I can set the shape to a cow if I want, and there's sort of a cow, or set the shape to a turtle. And these two shapes, the cow and turtle, are also given to you and built into Netlogo. But what are all the other shapes that are also built in, and how do you find them? The answer is on the Tools menu. We come down to the Turtle Shapes Editor, and immediately what you see is a list of available shapes in alphabetical order, and there are a good number of them. And here is, for instance, the turtle. Alternatively, here is the cow. But there are more shapes that you can make use of. There's an external library that you can import a shape from if you want to make use of it. And you press this button over here, Import from Library, and you get an entirely new listing, which is very much larger, of possible shapes that you can make use of. Here is a bread shape, and here is a box. Here is a building store, and if I want the building store, I will simply press the import button. It imports it into my current list of existent shapes, and here it is down in the alphabetical area under building store. Sorry, took a little bit of time to find that. And I can make use of it. So now I can actually set the shape to building store. Notice the space right here, that's part of the word, and that's why we have quotes around it, and we have to spell it correctly, and when you do, there's the building store. And we can change its color, and we can change its size, etc. But suppose, on the other hand, you're not quite satisfied with the set of shapes that are given to you either by default or in the library, and you want to create your own. Or you want to modify one that's already there and you want to make it better. So we'll go back to the Shapes Editor, and let's take the turtle, for instance, and we're going to edit that turtle. Now, here we have the turtle shape, and we can see it in all of its different directions. This is a shape that is rotatable, so that when you actually reset the heading of the turtle to some other heading, or ask it to rotate right or left, it will actually point in the direction that you want. We can turn that off with this particular checkbox, rotatable, and when we turn that off, this turtle will not rotate visually, even though the turtle underneath it, the turtle that this is actually that's carrying this shape, can head in any particular direction and will go in that direction when you say forward or back, but the shape will not move. And why would we want that? Well, there are objects that we'd like to move around, but we don't want them to actually change their heading. Trees, for instance, don't look very good when they're leaning over, or cows, unless you're interested in cow tipping or something like that, are currently non-rotatable shapes. And so if you go back, for instance, and take a look at the cow, there's the cow. Notice that its rotatable checkbox is turned off, but if we actually check it and save it like this, then we can actually rotate our cow. Now, let us suppose that you're interested in actually creating an entirely new or modifying an old shape. Let's take our cow, and we can actually change its shape to something else. Here are all the control points. I'm not going to go through how to do all the painting mechanisms. I'm going to presume that you are familiar somewhat with some kind of a paint program, and you know how to use many of these sort of paint-like controls. These are control points for the cow. We're going to give him a fat forward foot over here. We're not going to move that. We're just going to move that, and a very thin backward foot as if this cow were on high heels, and we're going to give him a bump on the head. And now we have a new cow, and if we actually save this cow, it's our new cow, and we set our shape to cow. It looks, well, pretty bad, but it's our pretty bad and not somebody else's pretty bad. When we save this project with File, Save, or Save As, the cow will be saved along with the project, and the next time you open the project and you ask for a cow, it will look like this. Lord help that cow. So that's how to modify an existing object. What about creating an entirely new one? Absolutely, we can go back to the Turtle Shape Editor, and in this case we want to create something new. And we start off with a circular area, which we can then create a square in if we like, and we are using this particular color. If we want a red square, we can change the color of that object. We can create a little circle here, red circle, and we can change its color to blue if we like, etc., etc. This one is probably the most flexible. We can create a weird shaped object, and we can move the object around and we can snap to a grid or not. We've been snapping to grid. Now we can move it around continuously if we like. That's also fine. And we can see what it looks like in various sizes and headings. Now, one other thing that may not be completely obvious is that amongst the different colors here, let us suppose that here we have 3 different colors: the color of the rectangle, the blue circle, and this weird green-like shape. When we ask a turtle to take on this shape, which we can do, and set its color, what will actually change? What will change is what's governed here, color that changes. So if we actually choose the green, the lime to change. Is that green or lime? It's a turquoise. Notice down here that it's that particular shape is rolling through all the possible colors, showing us that that's the particular color that will be set. The turtle will remain red rectangle and a blue circle, but this color will change to whatever you set the color of the turtle to, and it's the only color that will actually change. So here, if you have a multicolored object, choose the particular color that you're going to allow the programmer to change, and the rest it will be completely governed by you as the designer of the shape itself. One more item, and that is, if you're interested in doing animations, animations usually mean a particular shape moving a little bit or changing a little bit at a time. Here we have a different project in which we have a particular person here, and his shape is going to change a little bit. If we start, notice that his arm waved. How did I do that? I created 10 or so different shapes here. 10 or so different shapes. Here they are, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. And this shape, person 2, is just with his arm pointing out. Person 0 is with his arm further down, and I simply changed the shape of the turtle one at a time, over and over again, from one shape to another, so that it looked like, and we'll speed it up a little bit, so that it looked like a person waving his arm. And you can do that by creating one particular shape, a particular person, and duplicating that shape many times, and then changing the duplicates a little bit each time, and then making use of each of them in your animation. Now finally, suppose you have actually a wonderful shape that you spent hours and hours on, and you've saved it in a project. How can you actually use it in other projects? Again, if we go to the Turtle Shapes editor, you can press this button, Import from Model, and that will ask you where the Netlogo file is of that other project that has a fantastic shape in it. Choose that model. You will be able to see the various shapes inside that model and be able to import them one by one into the model or the program that you are currently using, and then they're yours. And that's it as a quick introduction to the Turtle Shapes editor.